So good morning, students. I'm happy to welcome you to this our learning class of construction plant. In this class, we want to talk about concreting plant. In our previous class, we discussed about compacting plants, where we talked about various types of compacting plants, or like the grader, the shift roller, the flat roller, the vibrator, and any other that we discussed in the previous class. So in this class, as I've told you, we want to talk about concreting plants. So we have different types of concreting plants. Can start by batching plants. We'll be starting by batching plant. Then we have mixing plant. Then we have transporting plant. Then we have distributing plants, because once we want to make a concrete, we have to batch this concrete. As I've told you, batching is the process of bringing the aggregates together in the correct quantity. So we can batch by volume. We can do what is called batching by volume. Again, we can do batching by weight. Can do batching by weight. So under batching, we can have the pan, or we can have the wheelbarrows, or we can use wheelbarrows for the batching. We take the quantity of concrete you put in the wheelbarrow. Then you can also take again for the sand you put in the wheelbarrow. Then you bring again. Wheelbarrow again can also be used as a transporting plant. Wheelbarrow again we can use as transporting plant, since you take it from different place to another. When we talk about the mixing plant, so see, let's start with the mixing plant. Mixing plant. See, these are plants which are used in the mixing of concrete, in the mixing of aggregates, in order to have a workable concrete. So the following are examples. So the followings are the examples of mixing plants, of concrete mixing plant, are examples of concrete mixing plants. Depending on the nature, depending on the quantity, of concrete, needed. So we can have spade. Say this is used when mixing concrete in small quantity. Concrete in small quantities. in small quantities. So if you need a concrete in small quantity, then you can use the spade for mixing. Then we can have what is called rotating drum mixture. Say this plant is used. When concrete is required. When concrete is required in large quantities, say it has a discharging point and loading points, and can mix concrete up to 7 cubic meter per time. It means when it wanted to offload to make this concrete, after one mixing you can able to have 7 cubic meter of such concrete. Then the third mixing plant, we can have transist vehicle, or say this type of plant is used when the space for mixing concrete, when the space for mixing concrete inside is insufficient, so the aggregates are loaded to the vehicle, into the vehicle, and mixed as the vehicle is on the transist, and later the concrete is being poured into the casting point. So it is just simply the vehicle, like the normal one. It has a tank behind, so it's there in the tank where we load all our aggregates into this vehicle. So as these vehicles will move on from the dispatching point from the loading point, it will rotate all along. Then this concrete will mix automatically. Then upon reaching the place where we want to load to cast this concrete, then it is this plant that this vehicle will be able to pour off this concrete. When we talk about after mixing, we have what is called the transporting plant. This concrete must be now transported. So we have different. We can talk about. We can have different types of mix. Let's talk about types of mix of the concrete. types of concrete mix, types of concrete mixes, types of concrete mix. When talking about, we have different types of concrete mix, depending on the quality of the concrete we need, not the quantity, the quality of the concrete we want to achieve. So we can have the prescribed one types of mix. We have prescribed mix, and then the prescribed mix say in these types of mix, say the components are redetermined in order to enable the concrete to obtain high strength, in order to enable the concrete to obtain high strength. The second types of mix that we have the standard prescribed mix. The second one, we have standard prescribed mix. So under standard prescribed mix, say it is applicable to minor works such as, say, these types of mix is suitable for concrete in minor works, such as constructions of small houses, such as construction of small houses and barbed wire fencing So if you want to use a concrete for the barbed wire fencing, then you can use what is called standard prescribed mix. Then at the last one, we have a designed mix. The third one, we have the designed mix. Under the design mix, say concrete is prescribed for high standard. Concrete is prescribed. Say the third one we have, the third one is designed mixed. Say in this type of mix, concrete is designed for high quality and is majorly adapted when concrete is required for major jobs or for structural work such as constructions of columns and beams. So that's why we can use that types of mix. Then again, we can talk about types of definitions of various terms. We can talk about cement and say this is a powder produced from clay and chalk or climb. So if you are told to define various terms of various terms used in concreting plant. We can talk like the cement. Say this is a powder produced from clay and chalk or lime. Again, we talk about the aggregates and say aggregates are these are materials that are used in the manufacture of concrete. We can have different types of aggregates. We can have the coarse aggregate and soft aggregate. When we talk about aggregates, see, these are materials which are used in the manufacture of concrete, of concrete. Then you can have grades of concrete or types of aggregates. Then you can have coarse aggregates. Where this one we have the ballast. Again, we can also have sand as coarse aggregate. Then the second one we have fine aggregate. We have fine aggregates. Under fine aggregates, where we have the cement as a fine aggregate. Then we have also, we can have water under fine aggregates. From there, we'll mark the end of our first of this our class. The next class we meet will be discussing about reversing drum mixtures or the split drum mixtures, and we can also talk about how we can transport concrete and the modes of transporting our concrete. Concrete can be transported using different material. You can use a chute, you can have morale, you can have different types of transport. You can also have wheelbarrows, as I've told you. Then the next topic, after completing this our unit topic, then we'll have to discuss about transporting plants and lifting plants for various machines. So in the concrete, we have to talk about, as I've told you, we have to talk about concrete transporting plant, concrete distributing plant, concrete mixing plants, which of course this is what we have discussed so much in this our class. So the next class, majorly we have to talk about the transporting plant, concrete transporting plants. Then we can talk about concrete distributing plant. Then we talk about concrete compacting plant. Then we have concrete compacting. We can have the vibrators and etc. So I hope you're okay. Let's meet in the next class. Thank you.